afternoon edition of the episode. As I told everybody last week, I will not be doing one on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and I'll be at Lambeau Field in the evening for the Packer game. I wasn't going to be doing one tonight because I'm busy preparing for the game, and I'll be on. Excuse me, I'll be on Main Event Marks. They're having a special episode. Check their channel out. As always, you can find it on my channel on the right hand side. Here in the beginning, I have a guest, and it's his birthday. I was going to give him a shout out anyways, whether he was going to be on here or not. That's Albert. How you doing this afternoon, sir? How's your birthday going so far?
It's going good, man. I can't complain. Literally, I went to the gym last night, went to the gym this morning, and went to see some friends, and now just you know, getting a bunch of my phone calls, which normally is the case on birthdays where people get in touch and they call you, they text you, they tweet you, and all that good stuff that happens.
Yeah. Who's your? I don't remember if I asked you this before, but who's your NFL team that you root for?
The team I root for are the Jets, who are coming off two losses and questioning whether or not Fitzpatrick should stay in. And after discussing it on Sunday, I'm going to give him the go around to do one more game before we kind of call it like a lost season or something. But for right now, it's going, and that's it. So kind of live and die by the Jets, and as everyone always says, it's the same old Jets. So hopefully that won't be the case this year, but we'll see.
Unfortunately, it seems like it's going down that route for your Jets, and that's what I was actually just going to bring up with you, with the Jets being just a punchline in a way in the NFL. Being the same old Jets. Not thinking that they're going to be anything ever, just expecting them to, everything to go off the rails and have disappointing seasons. So actually, as a Jets fan, for as long as you've been one, how is it trying to with being a fan of the Jets and with their struggles and their issues for the last couple of years and trying to keep the faith that your team will turn around?
Well, I mean, listen, it comes down to two separate things. I was with them, riding with them when Bill Parcells was there, and we had Curtis Martin, and we had a good running game, and not much was required of, Vinny Testaverde and Mark Sanchez. Just make throws, and they kept winning and had a steady defense, kind of like the ground and pound game. And then lately they haven't had a running game, so kind of spelled the Mark Sanchez going downhill a little bit. Now we have Geno Smith. Now we have Fitzpatrick. Ivory was doing well. You can't underestimate the running game and how it goes. It leads to so many different options here and there, and you can only leave your defense out there for so long. Kind of how I say about the Eagles, where you had Chip Kelly. It's like, oh, sorry, 20 seconds each and every time. I'm like, well, who suffers? Their defense. If your defense stays out there long enough, guess what? They're going to become weak. They're going to break fourth quarter. So you have to, look at time management and everything else that goes on there, and all that weighs into play. So as for the Jets, listen, I'd love to have them get back to that ground and pound with Chris Ivory and who else? They just picked up some guy from the Pats, whoever, I can't remember right now. But if they can just do that and let Fitzpatrick, just make throws that are there and not really force anything, then that's fine. Basically Decker is who Decker is, and Marshall is, he's good and bad at the same time. But if we could do that, then yeah, we could creep into the playoffs and potentially do something. It's the regular season, then it's the postseason. You want to make it to the postseason. So that's what you want to do.
And what do you think about your quarterback situation? I know you were talking a little bit about the Fitzpatrick thing and them giving him at least another week. They're going up against the Dolphins at home here in Week 12. Do you think it was smart to give him another week here, or just kind of throw in the towel for at least this season, put Geno Smith back in, see what you got there, and then.
Well, no, you already know what you have.
Well, I know, but just then after the season, then you can reevaluate your quarterback situation and what you might have to do in the offseason or in the draft.
Well, when it comes to that, literally, it's when with the you have your starter for the reason where he's there, and the season's not lost yet. If the season's lost, you know what you have in Geno Smith. You don't know what you have with I think it's Bryce Petty, who's our
Mhm.
third quarterback, and you want to give him a shot and see what you have there, if anything's good or not. You don't want to throw him to the wolves, but you want to see what you have, and then go into the draft. Obviously, college football is all spread, completely different animal in the NFL, where, I'm sorry, the same speed you have on offense, you have on defense. So you're going to have to be a little bit more accurate. Um, and that's what happens.
Yeah,
But
just
anyway, we should talk Packers because someone's going to a Packers game, and it's Packers Lions, if I'm right.
no, Packers Bears.
Oh, even better.
I know one of the best and oldest rivalries in the NFL. And on top of that, at halftime, Brett Favre gets to be honored.
Will he be booed?
Um, no, I'm going to say it's probably going to be 80-20, if anything, of cheering and booing ratio. 80 cheering, 20 booing. From the ovation that he got over the summer when they put him into the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame, here that we have locally, the reception he got when he was on the field was almost seemed like 100% cheering and no boos. But I'm sure there was some. It was just drowned out by the mass, kind of like in a WWE crowd. Sometimes boos or cheers can be masked or covered up by whatever is the majority
Mm-hmm.
of the fans. So I'm going to say it's going to be more cheering than booing. Also, it's going to be there. Bart Starr is going to make his final appearance at Lambeau. There for he's going to be out there in the field with Brett. There. So that'll be pretty cool having our franchise's two best quarterbacks, and in a way it can be argued the two best quarterbacks in NFL history. They're in one field, at least for one last time in Lambeau. Because what I've heard reports from Brett, or not Brett Favre, Bart Starr Jr., Bart Starr's son, that with all his issues and conditions, that will be the last time that his father would be able to be at Lambeau Field.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
Because he lives in Mississippi, I guess.
Who, Brett does?
No, well, Brett does, I guess, and Bart does too.
Oh, nice.
Mississippi, that area around there, I believe. That's what was with that report. So that's another added thing that's gonna be pretty cool at Bart Start. And for me personally, I was there at the game with my family when the late great Reggie White was honored and put into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame, jersey number retired, all that jazz. So to be there for that live, excuse me, to be able to be there live for Brett Favre, two cornerstones of the Packers during my childhood, definitely once in a lifetime, I guess you can say.
Actually, I just talked about Reggie White, especially with this whole JPP scenario on the Giants. I'm like, listen, you could totally have a defensive end play with one hand. It's not like he's paid for interceptions. He's there to put the quarterback down. I'm like, if he can do it with a club like Reggie White did, and they're like, who? Reggie who? I'm like, okay, obviously we don't know our football that well. But
Someone needs to do a Google search.
I'm like, if you could play with, he doesn't need fingers to catch the ball. I'm like, if he can pick it up and scoop it, that's great. But he's just there to, put the quarterback on his butt.
Right, and I think there was one time where either, I don't know, I don't remember if it was an interception or a fumble recovery for a touchdown, but Reggie White had that moment. I think it was against the Washington Redskins um, back in the day for defensive play. But you're right, yeah, it's not like JPP's a cornerback or anything, but that saga with JPP is a mess in itself. But we'll see how.
Not really. It's just they just feel like he can't do anything. But I'm like, the same question goes with, okay, he messed up his hand. I got that.
Hmm.
NFL's full of what do you call it? Non-guaranteed contracts. And if he can do what he's got to do and sack the quarterback, that's what you're paying him for. You're not paying him for interceptions or to throw touchdowns. So that's why, on the whole scale of contracts, you have the quarterback first, followed by the running back, wide receivers, and then either your corners and safeties, or in defensive end. And I got to throw my offensive lineman in there somewhere because they protect the quarterback.
Hmm.
So who
About
knows? Huh?
I was gonna say one last question about your Jets. Now, last week they were playing the Texans. I actually, if I remember correctly, I predicted the Jets actually to get the win there. Were you surprised that you guys weren't able to beat up on a Texans team with themselves not being up to par of what they're supposed to be after getting rid of Andre Johnson, sending him to Indianapolis and everything? That maybe the Jets would have been able to pull that off. Did you have any hopes or thoughts that your Jets would have gotten that win last week or could have?
Listen, I always pick my Jets to win. I can't really predict them to do anything, except I just go. I told my bias mantra and says, "Yeah, we're gonna win this week." I can't really predict what's gonna happen. I mean, if you look there, you got what do you call it? I can't. Let's see if I remember. Hold on. Nope, I'm thinking of a different game because I didn't see the whole thing. But the interception at the end kind of was costly, where it's like we have some we had some moments where we mess up, and sometimes we play to our competition. And while we think we're supposed to win the games that we should win, but that doesn't necessarily go hand in hand.
No, right. I mean, Packers in the past have had that too, and it kind of was interesting with us and our losing streak. With the Packers are losing well first with two teams at the time undefeated, and Carolina still being. And I kind of joked that's kind of cool that those undefeated teams, actually played to A caliber when they're facing Green Bay to get those wins. But then we get a loss to Detroit where I thought we were supposed to have our bounce back, and then we actually have our bounce back being against a team like Minnesota that's improved, and at the time before the game started last week was number one in the NFC North. That with beating them the way that we beat them, it just also showed that Minnesota in games that are big time on their schedule that they come up short. So not just short as in losing, but just in their play as well. Stop being not the Vikings of the other weeks either. So I guess take that with a grain of salt coming into this game tomorrow night, Thanksgiving. Supposed to rain, snow, sleet, all that other fun stuff as well. So that'll
At
make
the at Lambeau?
yeah. There's a winter front coming through.
Oh, nice.
I know because I was
You got to
trying.
dress warmly tomorrow.
I know I've been watching weather reports daily because of having to drive there and back. So yeah, so I guess
How long of a drive is it for you?
um let's
Hour
say
plus?
2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, hour and a half to 2 hours, probably closer to 2 hours with the winter mix coming down to get a
All
little
right.
slower. So yeah, not too bad of a drive.
Take it easy. Go from there. So let me ask you a couple questions since I know you're
Sure.
going to be going there tomorrow. All right. Now, I'm going to split this in half. There's going to be you and then what the average fan you think does.
Okay.
All right. So this isn't your first rodeo at the Lambeau. All right. So tailgating. How is the tailgating scene at Lambeau?
Oh, it's crazy right, on game day, as it always is. Plus, we also have a separate area for even a more let's just say more entertaining tailgate kind of scene where they have live bands, music kind of thing already set up for the people. I think that's over. I forget where exactly it was because it wasn't there last time I was there because I was there in 2013 because I've been going sporadically since 2006 and that stuff. So the last time I was there for the Lions Packer game, that was a Sunday night football game too. Sunday night football at NBC that year, so that's kind of ironic too. But
Mhm.
anyways, yeah, tailgating scene's always crazy, especially if you get there 2 hours early, and even getting there 2 hours early, you feel like you're late for tailgate because people are already doing that. But it's a good way to interact, meet people. Now with me and my podcast, I might be able to try to promote it word of mouth that way too. All that entails great atmosphere. I'm sure it is for any stadium for any team with their fan base for the home games.
All right. Now, over under how many pictures are you going to take? And over under how many pictures a fan going there for the first time should take?
For a fan going for the first time, they probably would take a picture of anything and everything, because
We're
especially if
looking
they're,
for a number here. Are we
I,
going
uh,
100,000?
no, I'd probably go hundreds for the new person,
Okay.
and for me, I don't know, maybe 40 or more. I don't know. That would seem like a lot. Um, for myself, that's been there a lot through the
All
years.
right.
That's probably where I would put it.
Not bad. I think I went last time I went to a Jets game. I want to go to another Jets game this year, but I think last time I went, I think I took 8 photos, and I enjoyed the tailgate. It's one of those things where you see the different contraptions where you have, yeah, I think I saw a cooler scooter
Hmm.
where some guy was sitting on the cooler driving around. It was just like, all right, man, what do you need? Hold on, let me just get up. It's like, here's my cooler, and
Yeah,
all he
we
did
got.
was drive around the parking lot.
Yeah, we have. I know we have one like Packer bus or whatever that's there for all home games or stuff like that, and those kind of like decked out cars like that as well. With your teams, emblems on there and stuff like that. So that's always interesting to see all the creative stuff fans do with whatever their vehicles or whatever else they're bringing.
No, I know it. I know it. Well, listen, you're gonna have a great time, so it should totally be good.
It will.
All right, so wait, so what did the Packers do last week? Did they
Last
win
week
or
we beat
lose?
it. We beat the Vikings. We crushed them, 30-13.
30-13, and you're taking on the Bears. First meeting or second meeting?
I believe for the Bears, this is our second meeting actually.
All
I
right.
think, yeah, because we faced them in week one in Chicago.
And what was the outcome?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Would have to look that up.
All right.
I think we won because we were undefeated for a while. So yeah,
Okay, so okay. Yeah,
so a
I mean,
chance to sweep them. Yeah.
okay, so that'll be good and necessary. You got to forgive me for the Packers. I'm not completely up to date with everything. All I
No,
know
that's
is
fine.
they've had a spell of some losses, and I asked a buddy of mine who's a Bears fan. I'm like, okay, why are the Packers losing? And my buddy said to me, they what do you call it? The powers that be took the offensive coordinating play calling away from McCarthy. To which I said, well, that was stupid because I think McCarthy's the head coach. He's the one that calls the plays. Let him call the plays because if the offense is going to be inept, he's the one that's going to get axed. So I don't know where that lies right now.
Yeah, we still have somebody else doing the play calling. I know it's been talked about at least, especially after the game you're winning. Are they still thinking about changing it? Because obviously that was a big topic discussion during the 3 game losing streak. When you're losing, you try to find out what the issues are. And so after we got the win against Minnesota, then the reporters are asking them, now are we just going to keep it the way it is? And as they typically do, don't really give straight answers. But it seems like it's just going to be going the way it is with coordinator doing the doing the doing the play calling for the Packers for now. Maybe give it back to McCarthy later, but if we start another winning streak, then we don't have to worry about it. It'll be a topic that'll go away while you're winning. It'll only come back if you lose.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes moot the minute you get to the postseason and you start winning there. It's like, whoa, yeah, we had our hiccups.
Yeah.
So all that good stuff. But all right, well that's good. And Eddie Lacy's doing good, if I'm right.
Yeah, he came back to form this past week because the other weeks he was injured and then he was playing subpar. He was benched for James Starks, and now he's, I guess, fully healthy, and he showed it against Minnesota. Hopefully, he can keep that up as well. Because big component in our offense, especially after losing Jordy Nelson in the offseason for the entire year.
Yeah, but you have Rogers. Rogers can hit anyone, so you
Yeah, you
got
would
that.
hope so, but it didn't seem that way in those 3 weeks. But pretty much you're right. In the whole relaxed thing. I'm sure things will be fine. Be in the playoffs. We even have a chance here if we can keep things rolling to get one of the top spots in the NFC for the playoff positioning.
Well, yeah, but what I always say about playoff positioning is that you know, even with the playoffs, you just want to get in. The minute you play in the wild card, I think I think rare is the case that we've seen where I think the top seeds met face to face for the Super Bowl. So any team that's hot and on a roll, they can basically run the tables. I think who is it that went? Oh, wasn't it Denver and Seattle last year?
New
No,
England, New
2 years.
England, Seattle. 2 years ago was Denver, Seattle.
Yeah, for the number one seeds were able to move forward.
Right. In the year the Packers won the Super Bowl, we were, I think, one of the last teams in squeaking into the playoffs.
Yeah,
So as long as you can get in the dance, you have a chance to win it all.
exactly. So, all right, man. Well, listen, great being on the show. Didn't want to take over all the Jet stuff, so
That's
I
fine.
will let you be there. But yeah, have fun at the show at Lambeau. Who is this special guest? If you don't mind me asking.
My
Oh,
guest.
guest.
Oh, I'm taking my sister.
Nice. Is this her first rodeo or no?
No.
All right, just do me a favor. I was gonna bring this up. Just don't bring a selfie stick. That's where other fans is like, listen, can you quickly take a picture of me? You meet a bunch of people that way.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, listen, you have fun. Great being on the show, and I will talk with you later, man.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by and enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thanks, man. You too. Enjoy.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
All right. So that was, excuse me, Albert of Main Event Marks, a good friend of mine, and like I said, co-host of the group of Main Event Marks that will be doing an episode later tonight. He will unfortunately not be able to be part of that. Uh, like we were talking about, it's his birthday, so he'll be friends, family, drinking dinners, whatever, in whatever order, who cares? But he'll be having a good time, and it's nice that he was actually able to stop by. I did not expect him to. I invited him to, but I did not expect him to show up at all to even have a moment to talk. Because with people working, then him celebrating his birthday for him. So greatly appreciated by him to be able to jump on for a couple of seconds, or more than a couple of seconds. Obviously, as you saw there, that was nice of him. And I guess we'll go from there. Sorry, just trying to catch my breath from that great conversation we had. Now moving on to talking about the other 30 teams in the NFL besides the New York Jets and my Green Bay Packers. Before I do, I actually want to promote his Twitter handle. He was unable to do that because, like I said, he had to go do other things. Um, you can follow him, Albert, at InkyCraft, at INKYCRAFT, InkyCraft, on Twitter. And definitely check him out along with me and the others on Main Event Marks weekly. That usually airs on Thursday night, but tonight we're doing a special Thanksgiving episode there. So, anyways, one other thing I wanted to touch upon that has to do with the last week was actually, let's see here. Apologize, I have to get back to the schedule here. It was actually the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kicking the candy butts, the butts of the Philadelphia Eagles, 45-17. Now, I predicted the Eagles to win, as you all know from last week's episode. But I also said that I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay got the win with Jameis Winston, finally actually playing up to his caliber, with the Eagles in their own flux with Chip Kelly and their team and organization. But I didn't think they were going to lose like that. Like, seriously, I did not think that they would get royally butt kicked at home. At home, nonetheless. Not just got their butt kicked, period. They got their butt kicked at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that even themselves are not mathematically yet eliminated from the playoffs. They're still in it, technically. So, with all that, and the Eagles technically also being still in it with their division, and that being an influx in itself. Teams, it seems like those four teams don't even want to win that division. You have to watch the Redskins, you got the the Eagles, the Cowboys with Tony Romo coming back, and Michael Owens, Giants. It's certainly interesting, to say the least. Hmm. Since I am on here, I know some of my boys of Main Event Marks are watching, or at least watch what they can. I wanted to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. ME, I mean, March, that's his team there. And his team there defeated the Atlanta Falcons this past week, 24-21, where I thought that the Falcons would beat up on the Colts for two reasons. One, the Falcons defense is supposed to be superior, not just subpar, as they've seemed to be kind of falling off the wagon after their great start, being one of the undefeateds. Excuse me, in the NFL. But also because the Indianapolis Colts had to put in a backup quarterback, put in Hasselbeck, the old guy. But something I should have noticed that each time the Colts have done that, he's won. I think he's 3-0 so far this season when starting, which is interesting and awesome, I guess, if you're a Colts fan, to say the least. And with that, and with those kind of stats, if I'm a Colts fan, maybe I might think maybe we just keep him in for at least for a couple more weeks until Andrew's 100% ready. We don't want to bring him back too early, right? Because we don't want a chance of getting injured again. Kind of like the same thing WWE is doing with Daniel Bryan, but that's a different story, different show. But I just thought that the Falcons were going to be able to feast, so to speak, to feast on the Colts this past week, and that just wasn't the case. The Colts came back, they won the game 24-21, and for a team like the Colts, in the mix of it now, playing at home at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, like I just previously mentioned, just kind of came off giving the Eagles a butt kicking of a lifetime, or at least of the season. That actually seems like a pretty good matchup. Don't poo-poo Tampa Bay either. And Indianapolis, being a better team than expected after what we saw in the beginning of the season, but also still not to par to where I thought they were going to be coming from the preseason, or even maybe even before the preseason, just going into looking into the season in itself. The way that the Colts were, and thought that maybe that they might be one of the teams that could be one of the undefeateds for a while, if not one of the last remaining undefeateds with the New England Patriots. Because I knew even going into the season that the Patriots were going to be doing well because of this whole Deflategate, wanting to deflate the whole league, kicking butt, taking names, yada, 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 yada. So just wanted to make sure I talk about the Colts too. Even though ME is not able to join me today because he's at work and I'm doing this episode in the afternoon. So that's more of my fault than anything, but still. I was just reading something here about the standings. It's going to be a very interesting, stretch here to get into the end of the season. Who's going to make it to the playoffs, who's going to be left out, all this other stuff. That's what the intriguing part of the NFL season is, even for me. For me as a Packer fan and shareholder and everything, knowing that my team's fine, but watching the rest of the teams and see how they do, both AFC and NFC, who makes the cut, who doesn't, how everything is set up, who's seated where. I mean, I know when Albert was talking about here, when he was on, his thoughts on seating and everything, about in the end it might not matter, and as long as you're in, you play and you can win, and I agree, to an extent. But to me, it still is exciting to me to see how it all plays out, to see who's where and what plays against who, and how they got in, whether they backed in or they, you know, wrapped up their playoff spot as early as, like, say, the Patriots and Packers will here for their respective conferences. The Arizona Cardinals, a team that not to sleep on. The Packers, us Green Bay Packers, are my team. Obviously, it's not me. I'm not on the team, but my team, the Green Bay Packers, will be facing the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona, in Tempe. That should be a big game, a game that might actually matter for the playoff seedings. Because as much as it is of, as long as you can get in, you have a chance, seeding does matter because have you seen in stats and in anything, sometimes, getting that extra win does matter. Like in last season, if Green Bay beat Seattle in the regular season, we would have been having that NFC Championship game in Lambeau. Could have had a different outcome. Now, you still have to play the game, so that's part of it too. But I just mean just in the home field advantage situation part of it. I do believe in some respects that does matter. Again, that's just my opinion, but that's what I believe. That does matter. And again, with the other seedings and the ones getting the wild card positions, it is fun to see how that all jumbles out. It's just fun. It's a chaotic, well, no, not a chaotic mess, but a well handled mess. I was trying to think of a better word for it, but um, something like that to that extent, if you know what I mean. Um, because I always like those sort of things and just to see how the chips fall where they may, so to speak. Excuse me, with the playoff seedings and seeing how it all pans out, especially when we get to week 16, week 17, where we have this team can get in if this happens and this happens, or let's say, excuse me, like a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, week 16 and 17, they still might be in it, but they might need like four teams to lose and them to win, or this, and this, and this, and that, and this, all that stuff for a team to make the playoffs. For me, I always actually, if you, let's just put it this way, if you need more things to happen for you to technically get in the playoffs, I actually am rooting for you to get in said playoffs. It's always fun to see if those teams, that ones that obviously need to win themselves in those final games, but need a lot of help to get in. I always hope that hopefully they do get in there, because then they are the ones that each and every week for those last 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe even 4 weeks, who knows, that they have to win out and they have to, fight, scratch call it their playoff start. Then it makes them even stronger, in my opinion, stronger when they get into the playoffs than the rest of the teams that are already there that either clinched it really early or didn't need as much of other teams losing and other situations going on that team needed. So usually I hope for those teams to actually get in to see then, because like I said, it makes them stronger because their playoffs start early. Because if they trip up on the game and all the help that they needed to get in the playoffs with other teams losing and whatnot, tiebreakers, that they're already ready for playoffs because their playoffs already start early. So if they slip up, they're pretty much out. So that's why I do. I guess I do look forward to this part of the season and just to see those situations and scenarios and see what happens and becomes of them. But it's certainly going to be cool. Indeed. Hmm. Sorry, just replying to something. But anyways, let's get back to regularly scheduled programming. As in, I'm going to go over give you my predictions for Week 12 before I even forget to do that. Don't want to forget about the main staple of the episode. So, also, there was going to be a video I wanted to share for Brett Favre's return and everything, but I worried about copyright of the song, not the video, but the song itself. I didn't know if first I didn't know if I could find it. Then I didn't know if I'd be able to play it. So I'm still looking as I speak here, but there was a great fan-made video from the song "I'm Coming Home." I forgot who sung that or who sung that song, but "I'm Coming Home" and with Brett Favre was pretty well done. It was done by one of the Packer fans. I still can't find the son of a gun. All I know is nicely made good video. And every time I watch it, because I used to watch it in a row, and yet now I can't find it at all. But it was, it makes you think. With everything that went bad, everything that happened in the past between Favre and the Packers, and all that other stuff, that makes it insignificant now because now he's back in Green Bay. Now he's back in Lambeau. He's home. He's finally back home, and tomorrow night we get to celebrate that. He gets to be at Lambeau, getting honored after, I was already getting honored going to the Packers Hall of Fame in the summer. It just is awesome to have him back. And like I said, there was going to be a couple of videos I wanted to play that had to do with it. Heck, one of the videos, like I said, the fan made video with the song "I'm Coming Home." That one I was going to play for the start, but I worried about copyright and all that other stuff because I want to be able to have my videos on here and monetize them. Obviously, make this my career at some point. But as of right now, that is not to be the case. And my luck, I'll find it after I'm off the air. But anyways, let's get back to the Week 12 predictions, and let's start off with Thursday football, Thanksgiving Day football for these 6 NFL teams. First, the Philadelphia Eagles, EDP, Philadelphia's Archfiend. They're Philadelphia Eagles up against the Detroit Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions over the Eagles playing at home. Eagles being in the mess. Seems like they're quitting on their coach. And it seems like Chip Kelly's going to be out the door maybe sooner rather than later. We'll see. But I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions over the Philadelphia Eagles 21-13. 21-13 Lions over the Eagles. Carolina Panthers at the Dallas Cowboys. Panthers on the road. Cowboys 20 second game back. Panthers need a defense. Kind of like the Legion of Boom last year. I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers squeaking by against the Dallas Cowboys, staying undefeated. Team Boy TV's Carolina Panthers. I have the Panthers winning 35-31 over the Cowboys in a shootout, a knockout game there in Dallas, which in that stadium will be the site of WrestleMania 32 as well. Next, the Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. I will predict that last, as I always do. Sunday games, Saints at the Texans. I'm going to have the Texans over the Saints, 27-24. Rams at previously undefeated Bengals, but on a 2-game losing streak. I'm going to go with the Bengals over the St. Louis Rams. They can really get bounced back here. 17-10. Bengals over Rams. Minnesota Vikings after a loss to us, Packers. Traveling to Atlanta to face the Falcons. I'm going to say this is a much closer game than some think. I'm going to go 24-21. Falcons over the Saints. This time them winning by that score and them winning by the field goal and getting the win. All right, Mike Malone and his New York Giants versus the Washington Redskins. I'm gonna go with the New York Giants here, but not too confident. I wouldn't be surprised if the Redskins get the win, but I'm gonna predict the Giants 24-14. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Indianapolis Colts. I mean, you never know. This could be the game of the week, or it could be the dud of the week. Who knows? But I think it's going to be more competitive than I was thinking. I'm going to go with Emmys, Indianapolis Colts over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 27-17. Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs over the Bills. 21. Yeah, 21-17. Raider Central and Raiders underscore 1995's Oakland Raiders versus the Tennessee Titans. I'm gonna go with the Raiders, getting the bounce back win, trying to stack on wins here, trying to get into the playoffs. Like I said, them and the Jaguars, a team that I saw moving up the boards this season. Maybe we get 2 playoff spots. They might be the 2 teams, the Jaguars and the Raiders, getting the wild card positions. You never know. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders over the Titans. I would say 17-10, 7-point win. Raiders over the Titans. Chargers over the just previously mentioned Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Jaguars over the San Diego Chargers, 24-17. Chargers are just, again, with their own mess. Jaguars trying to prove actually having a chance to win their division with everything going on with Indianapolis and Houston that are above them right now in the standings. Miami Dolphins versus Albert's New York Jets. I'm going to go with the Jets over the Dolphins in this game, 34-28. Jets over Dolphins, 34-28. Arizona at San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick on IR, or in other words, he just is benched. They just put it in a different way. And either way, the 49ers are not going to be getting this one. They got the mighty Arizona Cardinals getting the win on the road, 42-17. 42-17, Arizona over San Francisco. Then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Seattle Seahawks. I got the Seahawks over the Steelers, 27-17. The mighty New England Patriots versus Get With It Sports and Team Boy TV Live contributor Glass. Apologize for that. Glass is Denver Broncos. I have the Patriots over the Broncos. Broncos are going to start again. I say, in my opinion, when talking about the Denver Broncos and their quarterback situation, I know how much Glass loves Peyton Manning, as he should. He's Peyton Manning. But I think what would be best for business and best for the Denver Broncos is just let Brock Osweiler start for the rest of the season. Like, seriously, just let him start for the rest of the season and be able to, see what you got. Because, Peyton Manning's not coming back next year, at least I assume. That's going to be the case. Then you got to know what you have with Brock Osweiler, because this is his last year, last contract of the year. And next year, got to see if you're going to ship him out or keep him there and just build a team now around Brock Osweiler. I do like the name, and I actually remember I was, championing for him to get drafted the year he came out of college from Central Michigan, I do believe. I always champion for lesser colleges, quarterbacks, or just players in general when we get into the draft, when we get into the later rounds or whatever. Like, hopefully they get drafted, or there's a player on the radar that I heard stories about, or they did pieces about them on ESPN before the draft or something like that, and you're really hoping they get drafted and do well, sort of situations, and he was one of them. And now being in the situation that he is, maybe he can be the heir apparent for the Broncos, and you never know, Denver Bronco fans, I'm not going to say it now that he could be the next Peyton Manning, but you got to give him a chance to even try, and you also, in that same light, can't put the burden of anger on him if he messes up at all, either to the end of the season or the beginning of next season, because you are comparing him to Peyton Manning and trying to give him too much of an expectation, which also then can hurt him and his growing progress as a quarterback and a quarterback for your team, the Denver Broncos. So that's just want to give my 2 cents there about Glass and Glass and your team if you are watching this live or later on. That's what I think with your quarterback situation. I do think Brock Brock should get the start for the rest of the season and take the team over into the future. But for the game, I have the Patriots over the Broncos. I was thinking even if Peyton Manning was going to start, the Patriots were just going to kick their butts. I'm sorry, I just thought that was going to be the case. So I'm going to say go with the Patriots, keep them undefeated, keep that train rolling. Patriots over the Broncos 35-10. And just because they're going to lose either in that way or whatever fashion, you can't really, don't, Broncos fans, Broncos media, NFL media as well, I guess, which would be technically me in a way. Try not to beat up on Brock Osweiler too much after this game, if that is indeed what happens, because in the end, he just faced a defense that was ferocious. If he does anything close to subpar or good, or let's just say, dare say, great in that game, then you really know he actually has potential, especially facing a Patriots team with that defense and in this season, with everything that happened with them. So yeah, I just want a word of caution there for the Broncos as well in that way. So now I got the Patriots beating the Broncos Monday Night Football on ESPN, and that game is Sunday Night Football on NBC. Patriots Broncos, which would have been a lot better, I guess, for that media and the national media if it was Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. At least they would have something to try to talk about in this game, being the calling card, being a reason for people to watch. Then again, it's the NFL. It's a football game. People are going to watch. Whether you're a Patriots fan, Broncos fan, or just an NFL fan, you're going to be watching that game. That's true. Whether here now we're going to have Brock starting or Peyton. But anyways, Monday Night Football, ESPN, JB of Team Boy TV Live. He's Baltimore Ravens versus Jay, host of Talking WWE with Jay. His Cleveland Browns. You know what? I'm actually going to go with Jay's team. I'm gonna pick the Browns this week. Hopefully, Jay, you're watching here. But I'm actually going to pick the Cleveland Browns over the Ravens. Even with the whole situation that went on with Johnny Manziel being back bench, I really think they should just cut him, release him, trade him, straight up fire him, and just kick him out of the NFL if they really wanted to. I don't know, but they need to do something, and maybe he might actually learn. Or maybe not, I don't know. But he had so much potential. He does still have that potential in his playing skills. It's not like his playing skills diminished because of his off-field antics. But just what did diminish is his chances to show his greatness or goodness or, athletic prowess, so to speak, for any team because of his off-field antics. So that, my friends, is true. That was just a mess in that way because I just can't believe he did that. I just can't believe that he just hasn't gotten that message yet to be on the straight and narrow, focus on the game, and to not revert to his actions of the past. I mean, I understand things are hard to get away from, especially those fun things, quote unquote, partying and drinking. But now you're in the NFL. Now you're a professional. You need to start acting like it. Just like me trying to be a professional here on YouTube, starting to act like it, even though that's part of my repertoire anyway, being that way. I don't know. I just don't understand that with Johnny Manziel. Hopefully he can get his stuff together. Maybe he can. Maybe this benching will actually help him. Maybe it won't. But like I said, he still has that ability there. Because his playing ability did not change due to his off-field issues, but his chance to show that has definitely dwindled in Beaton, and I don't know if a team will pick him up if he is cut. If he's traded, well, then the team obviously is picking him up because it's a trade, obviously. So, but yeah, I think the Patriots. I really do. I really believe that this Patriots team this year has a good chance to be undefeated, stay undefeated, and finish what they were supposed to finish that one year after Spygate when they went undefeated and actually win the Super Bowl and cap it off being a perfect season. But I know all Patriots fans are happy about that. give a thumbs up to this video if you're a Patriots fan and want them to be undefeated. I know a friend of mine, Joe of the Joe Cornin Show. Check him out, youtube.com/Joe Cornin Show, and at Joe Cornin Show on Twitter. I know he's would want that to happen, and he should, and I do too. And I'm not even a Patriots fan; I'm a Packer fan, obviously, and I want that to happen in a way, even if it's against my Packers in the Super Bowl, because they deserve it. They were wrongfully, Tom Brady and the Patriot organization was wrongfully accused with the whole Deflategate nonsense, which in itself is nonsense because it's about the air pressure in a way, air pressure in a flipping football. I mean, seriously. I'm more upset with the Indianapolis Colts in that situation than I am with even more so the ruling that Brady even got suspended at all. So with all that injustice and then everything being rightfully overturned and Brady being able to play this season and everything, I mean, yeah, they still got punished there with the franchise, but franchise punishments that were handed down that the owner did not decide to fight. But I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see. But as for this week, I know they're going to be rolling over the Broncos. I mean, you got Brock Osweiler there starting at quarterback, not Brock Lesnar, which then again, Lesnar was not a quarterback when he was in the NFL, but still. Just, relating NFL and WWE in a way, since I do host a WWE podcast and co-host a couple others, so either way, just like I said, those are my predictions, my thoughts. Like I said, looking forward to Brett Favre coming back. Like I said, I would have played those videos if I was able to find them, and B, didn't have to worry about copyright issues with the song, not the video, but the song there, because it's an actual official song. So the video itself is pretty well done. So if you want to check that out, just search "I'm Coming Home, Brett Favre." I'm sure there's a couple fan-made ones. Maybe you'll run upon the one that I was talking about, but either way, it'll be a fun time Thursday night. Packers versus the Bears. Hope the Packers get the win, and we move forward from there. So, in saying that, hopefully everybody has a great rest of your week. Like I said, I won't be doing any more videos for the week. So I'll be back next week with my NFL podcast here at Talking_Packers. You can find me on Twitter. You can tweet me. I'll be at the game. So you're welcome to leave me tweets. I'll try to respond when I can. And Steve's Wrestling Ramble will be back next week as well. So with that said, have a great day, rest of your day, have a great evening, and have a blessed and happy Thanksgiving wherever and however you will be celebrating that. So enjoy your weekend, and as always, take care.